What is going on, Spurs Nation? Thank you for tuning in to another episode of OOC Live. If you're new, thank you for joining us, and I hope you have a good show. Hope you enjoy what we do. If you've been here before, thank you for stopping by again. I'm Rob Trejo Jr. from Bucking Spurs. With me, I got Harrison from San Antonio Spurs Talk. I also got Destin from Spurs Clan on Instagram and Clan the Spurs Fan on YouTube. We got a good show for you coming up. Let's get into it. First things first with the Spurs scrimmage expectations. Guys, there's a lot of things changing in the NBA. Spurs got 3 scrimmage games. Harrison, what kind of stock are you putting into these 3 games?
I'm putting a ton into them. I don't really care if we win. I just want to see some new lineups out there.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know what y'all think about that, but I just want to see experimentation.
Yeah, out of all honesty, it's just about just staying healthy, warming up, and getting ready for these basically playoff games. So not a lot of stock for me.
You see, I kind of think that we're going to have to put some stock into it because these are the guys that are going to play. Man, it's like whoever's in the gym is in the gym. That's our roster. These young guys, I feel like there's plenty of stock in every single minute for Chimezi Mitu, Drew Ebanks, Quinn Derry, and some of these guys. What do you think about that?
I mean, 2 words, Lonnie Walker. If he's in the lineups in the scrimmage, I'm going to be happy because like you said, I think they're going to be playing kind of the same lineups in the scrimmage because they got to get into it. And if he's out there, I'm going to be happy. That's all I'm saying.
Yeah. Okay. And in our perspective, yes, I put stock in it saying, okay, these players are the ones that's going to play. I guess I was thinking more so like I'm not going to put a lot of stock in to how well they play, because I just don't think they're going to go 100% or nothing like that. They're going to try to stay healthy.
Yeah, the stat line doesn't matter, but I think I'm sorry, the win and the loss column doesn't matter, but the stat line.
Yeah.
That might matter a lot to some of these guys moving forward. Jakob, Bryn. I mean, not maybe in the scrimmages, but
man, Bryn, I do not want to see Bryn play, y'all. I just don't want to see it. I know he's important to the offense, obviously, but I do not want to see that dude play. I just don't. I don't think he should play significant minutes in these basically playoff games.
How do you feel? How do you feel about this?
Sword, though, because if he plays and he plays really well, maybe some other team comes in and throws an offer at him that we can't.
I was gonna say, how do y'all feel about this statement? Yeah. He might be one of the most important players on our team going into Orlando, let alone not play. He might be the most important.
I mean, that's true. I still think Patty, if I'm going for most important, just because he like bridges the gap between the old and the new in terms of like Spurs eras. But hey, did y'all see what Kendrick Perkins said about Patty real quick?
No, what did he say?
This just shows how out of touch that man is with stuff. He was like, "What?" I mean, I agreed with him. He said Patty Mills is like the most important player for the Spurs right now. And I was like, okay, I like this. And then he was like, yeah, that guy, he can just get hot and drop 40 on you any given night. It's happened before. We've seen it. I was like, dude, his career high is like 32.
It happened before.
I was like, when does that happen? Like, yeah, he can get hot and maybe drop like 6 threes on you or something, but his career high is like 32 or 34 or something. He ain't gonna drop 40.
What? What? Like, yeah, he can have like a half where he gets hot, but what? He could drop 40 on you.
I know that was a little bit out there for you, Kendrick, but hey, I appreciate you giving the Spurs a shout out in any way. And you know why he did? He gave Patty the love because what Patty's doing with his salary, most likely. Mm-hmm. He was like, let me give this dude some love.
I mean, it was nice to see us in the news, but like, how sad is Spurs basketball that that's the state that we're at? Patty Mills is going to drop 40 for you. Remember when it used to be Tim and Manu? They were saying that about.
It's crazy, man. I don't hear anything when it pertains to the Spurs. Like, no one says anything. So I guess I gotta give him at least credit for saying that. I mean, maybe he's trying to make up for those awful comments he said about Duncan. Was it Duncan? Did he say that? It was him, right?
I can't keep track of all this stupid
shit. He's saying one thing on Twitter one day. He's gotting, nobody on Instagram the next day. It's just, I have no idea what he's doing these days. Shout out, Kendrick. Shout out. I ain't mad at you, Kendrick. I ain't mad at you.
He's better than Paul Pierce. I'll give him that. Much better than Paul Pierce.
They played together. It must have rubbed off at some point. They're both out here doing these ass takes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So we have 3 games, these scrimmages. Nets, Milwaukee, or Milwaukee first, then Brooklyn after that, and then we finish it off with Indiana. Actually, it just got reported today that the Fox Sports Southwest will air the last scrimmage game. They will not be airing the first two. So I don't know if anyone's going to be able to get their eyes on those first two scrimmage games. Maybe if there's a stream out there somewhere on the dark web. If there is, you can try to share it with us somehow because we want to watch that game. But we'll be keeping track of the stat line and the ticker. I know I will. I'll be keeping track of everything that happens on that one.
Hey, did they say if Victor Oladipo was going to play? Because I know he's saying he's trying to make a comeback for this little bubble season that they're doing.
You know, I thought that he was preparing to, but I thought I remember hearing that he wasn't after all. But
yeah,
that's a big game.
It makes more sense if he's sat because he hasn't played all year. But I could see him like in a scrimmage, bringing him in just for a couple minutes to get him like used to it or something.
I mean, even if he did, I don't see him like actually playing any games. I mean, is that what you're thinking, that he'll like actually play? I don't see that happening.
He was like tweeting off about it earlier in the week, saying like, "Yeah, I'm gonna try to play and all that," but it doesn't seem like it would make any sense to, at least not in bulk, like he's trying to kind of make it out like.
Yeah.
Also, because he just doesn't know the team he's with, so.
Yeah. Real quick, Spurs Nation, if you want to get your question or your comment on screen, all you have to do is go to the description below this video. Go to the description, go to our OOC tip jar, drop your question in there, and then we'll get back to it. We're going to go ahead and move on to the next topic, which is going to be playoff chances right when we come back. I don't know about you guys, but a lot of players dropping out, a lot of big players not playing in this tournament. Doesn't really affect my feelings towards everything. What kind of affects me more is seeing our Spurs go at it on Twitter. We're actually seeing 5-on-5 scrimmage clips on Twitter, and it looks nasty. And if you asked me a week ago what my chances were of us going in these 8-8 games, they've changed. What do y'all think?
Man, I said a while ago that I felt like we are going to have a better chance once it gets closer to that time of making the playoffs than people thought initially. Because I know LaMarcus Aldridge was basically like the first one, right, that dropped out of like all teams. He was one of the first. And instantly Spurs fans were like, well, that's it. It's done. And I said then, I was like, yo, we got a lot left. We got a lot more players that's going to start dropping out, that's going to have injuries. You know, not that I was hoping for that, but I was just like, this is the reality of the situation, man.
Yeah. I remember
you saying all I know is if we play cornhole for the championship, we got it, man. That's all I'm saying.
Ping pong.
No, but just to take a step aside from the topic, how Spurs is it that like all these other teams, they're vlogging their experience and all that, and they're playing in the lounges, in San Antonio is fishing and playing cornhole. Like that is the most Spurs thing in the bubble I've seen, and I love it. But
ping pong too.
Yeah, ping pong too.
That tournament was pretty cool. There. That tournament was pretty dope.
Yo, but with the playoff stuff, we were talking about this before we went live on stream. Just the guys that are sitting out on teams we're playing. Like the Kings, they had Harrison Barnes test positive, and now they've got Marvin Bagley who tested positive. I mean, those are two big guys, and that's a big game for us. So, I mean, I don't want to wish this on anybody, but hey, it's kind of cool that it's starting to work in our favor with this kind of stuff. And I think we talked about the Nets earlier, Rob, where they were like going to sign Michael Beasley, and then he tested positive, and now they might not sign him anymore. Yeah, so it's an interesting thing, man. We'll see how it goes.
Yeah, and I mean, as far as we're concerned, like, I mean, yeah, we're missing LaMarcus Aldridge is the biggest hit. Okay, it's the biggest hit. But I personally kind of like the offense when it's a little more free flowing. I don't like that whole coming down there, giving it to Debo or LA and just say, okay, you guys go to work. Yes, when it's all said and done, maybe we'll need that for the most part. But I mean, we haven't really reaped the benefits of it the past few seasons. So what's the point of that? Like, it's might as well let the young guys.
I think there's a time and a place for it, but like, I mean, they're great players, but they're not those kind of players that the whole team can rely on them and win games. And that's been proven this year. I mean, if it were like, I don't know, Luka Doncic and like Joel Embiid, just like a random combination, but they're considered like the top of their game at their positions. I mean,
yeah,
obviously not Luka. Sorry for all the LeBron stands out there. He's just the first name I thought of, but he's really good. I mean, those are the two kind of guys you think, oh yeah, they can carry a team to wins. But you know, LA and DeRozan, they're great. They're just not going to do that for you.
And like, even if you look at some of the players, like some of the best players in the league, and you say just give them the ball and let them go at it, a lot of times it don't even work for them. I mean, even if you look at James Harden never been to a finals. Like James Harden, I don't think anyone really expects him to win a championship in his career. And basically the offense is give it to him, and he's arguably one of the greatest offensive players of all time. So what makes us think that it will work for us? You know?
Yeah,
like I mean, it's trends and team.
We're just not successful with it any way you want to slice it.
No.
But then, like, going back to the Warriors dynasty, I think what made them so great is, they had all those like MVP caliber players, but they still played as a team, which is pretty cool. I mean, and that's the way the league's trending. You got to play as a team now. It is star driven, but you just can't have one guy carrying your team all the way. That's why all these guys are teaming up.
Let me tell you what I think. I think that our guys are so hungry and nobody knows that. Our young guys are years of starving for opportunity for what they're about to have right now. DeJounte, Derek, Lonnie's been starving for 2 years. Bryn is been there. He's ready. Keldon Johnson, I don't know if y'all know, but he's been hungry since the get-go. I've seen it in his eyes and in his attitude since training camp and since he's been in Austin. He wants to play in the NBA, and a lot of these guys haven't had their opportunity to show it. They're about to get it, and I think the whole rest of the NBA is about to be like, oh, the Spurs do have a young crew.
Mm-hmm. I definitely see it. I definitely see it with Keldon. When it comes to Keldon Johnson, man, he just has that type of approach that he's just going to go 150%, regardless. I mean, I know he's hungry, but it just seemed like that's just, in him. I want to see. The thing is, man, the way, even if I look at DeJounte Murray as far as hunger, I see that he's hungry, and it's obvious that he's hungry. But I guess sometimes it just feels like it needs to be more controlled hunger, because I look at him and then I look at Derek White, and I don't believe that either one of them necessarily wants it more than the other. I think it's just a matter of getting experience. But I think every young player we got is pretty damn hungry.
And I think the best thing that happened to Keldon was falling to 29. Obviously, I say best because he ends up with us, but also because, I mean, he was pissed that he didn't go where he was projected. Yeah. And, I mean, that just kind of drives him, and he's going to work. And also, shout out to Ruru. I saw your comment there about being slept on. I actually read an article by Hoops Habit on Fansided today, and I was like, oh, my God, we finally got some attention. This guy was talking about how our young core is the most slept on and underrated in the league. In classic Spurs fashion, nobody's talking about them, and then they're just going to pop out of nowhere and start killing people. Not literally, just on the basketball court.
Yeah, and I'll tell you why. It's because our young core is offensively just as good as anyone else if they got the same amount of minutes and shots, but they're better than probably any other young core defensively outside of maybe Boston and maybe Miami.
Yeah, and then when you have the Spurs who like thrive on you playing defense and helping you with the fundamentals, and then you have Tim Duncan, in that locker room continuously trying to tell you how you should play defense or what position you should be in. Yeah, man, it's dangerous, and I don't think people are really understanding the amount of depth behind the defensive prowess we have. Like, for sure. Like, I totally.
To your point, Rob, like, yeah, defensively, but the way I look at it is just all around. Like, yeah, Miami's got a young core and all, but like, look at the guys we're drafting. We're trying to draft guys who can, every single one of them, dribble, shoot, rebound, pass, play defense. Like, every single one of them is built to be a stat sheet stuffer. Whereas I think a lot of, like, I don't know, maybe Boston, Jason Tatum's pretty good, but I still don't think he's that great of a defender. I think Jaylen Brown fills that role.
Jaylen Brown, yeah, definitely.
Yeah, but I think we can get him.
Harrison, you seem like a car guy. What type of motor?
What
type of motor? Out of all three of us, you seem like the most guy that knows his way around.
Man, I drive a 2010 Hyundai Elantra,
man. Yeah, right, Harrison. Stop being humble for our audience here. We know you're
Humble
rolling in a
brag.
caddy over there. Black
Yeah,
on black
like
Cadillac.
caddying for a golf cart driver, maybe. But-
What kind of motor, what vehicle would you describe Keldon's motor? Real quick. Both of y'all. Destin, you first.
I don't know cars, man. I don't know cars like
Come on,
that.
there's really only like a few right answers.
Dude, I got this. I'm
Go
gonna
for
try
it.
and get a Twitter shout out from the Dodge Ram truck owner Twitter account. I think it's a Dodge Ram because it isn't sexy necessarily, but it's big, it's tough, and it's gonna get the job done no matter what it takes. Give me that shout out, Dodge Ram truck.
I like that one. Can I say Harley?
Yes,
Can I
you
just say
can.
Harley?
Go ahead,
Okay,
tell us why.
Man, I don't know. Harley, okay, it's fast, it's annoying, and he's a pest on defense. So I mean, I'll go with Harley because I don't know. They're loud. And he's very on the court. He's very vocal to his teammates. Like he's always vocal. So I'll go with Harley.
I like
I'll
that.
tell you right now, you just said everything that I know about motorcycles in that one sentence.
That's all I knew.
I like that. When Keldon Johnson is awake, he wakes up the neighborhood. I like that.
Yes, sir.
All right, cool. So right here, we're going to take a break from our playoff chances and talking about Spurs scrimmages. And then we're going to talk about, was Rob right all along? What exactly am I talking about? Well, we'll find out here in a second when we come back.
OOC Spurs.
Oh God.
OOCspurs.com. Absolutely. If you're watching,
1-800.
please hit the subscribe button, the like button below. Make sure you go to OOCspurs.com. Make sure you become a 6-man member right now. Okay, so what was I talking about? What am I right or wrong about? Well, here's my little spill right now. I'm kind of feeling it a little bit today because I'm just like, you know what? The whole world knows now that we need Keldon, right? It's not a mystery now. After he's, D'd up Luka Doncic for, a few possessions. Now everyone's like, oh yeah, he might be ready. And he still can't shoot threes, but I don't know, he might be ready. And Luka is another guy. So I said early on this season, before season, all off season until training camp, I was the only one saying it. And I'm going to take ownership of this. You can go to my channel, Bucking Spurs on YouTube, and I'm going to put a video showing you that I said this back in September, that we needed these guys on the floor in San Antonio. I wasn't dissing Austin. I wasn't saying that, anything bad about Austin. Let's get that straight. I understand. But you tell me that I'm wrong. One of the worst Spurs years, the worst Spur year in 23 years. Tell me I'm wrong. We weren't going to make the playoffs. Tell me I'm wrong. Tell me I'm wrong that these two guys, our 2 first-round picks in particular, couldn't have developed in San Antonio, being on the bench, learning, and been available for games early on in the season, because what did us in was the first 20 or 30 games of this season. It wasn't our last 20. Our last 20 were pretty competitive in one way or another. Either DeMar was out, we were competitive. LaMarcus was out, we're competitive. But I'll tell you what, these 2 guys were ready from day one. I stuck by it then. I'm sticking by it now. What do y'all think?
I think you're right to an extent, but I think you're completely right as far as like this season's concerned and the players that you're talking about, especially Keldon Johnson, because he had one of those games, like even when we were talking about it, around the draft, or everyone was talking about it, he had one of those games where he goes straight into the NBA and thrive, or at least be a role player and be successful with it. And when it comes to, certain players like DeJounte Murray, I think that maybe he needed a little more development. Even Lonnie Walker, I feel like maybe he needed a little more. But yeah, going into this season, like Keldon Johnson alone, he could have been on the roster. And I also was thinking the same way you were thinking when it came to him. Like, there's no point in him going to Austin. I mean, he'll be fine straight into the NBA.
And here's another thing. I'll tell you full out. I went to Summer League last year. I saw these guys play. I saw 1 or 2 games of these young guys get after it, and I saw all I needed to see. And you can't tell me we didn't need Luka Samanic, or he couldn't be there competing with Damari Carroll. I mean, if Damari Carroll was that bad, you couldn't tell me that Luka couldn't compete with him.
Well, not fashion-wise, but
not fashion-wise.
Hey,
Hey,
before I give my
Damari's got
2
swag.
cents on this, I just want to say that Gregory said I was flexing with my Elantra, but come on, Gregory, where's your comment with that gun show Rob just brought out there? He literally came in blazing without 10 paces right there. But no, I kind of agree with Des a little bit. I've always been, since everybody like hates on him, it's not everybody, but a lot of people, at least on my page, been hating on him. Luka, I've always been kind of on the he's going to be great for us train. I didn't know that I necessarily wanted him in this year. I thought for me, the G League's a better league for bigs to develop, so I can understand why they wanted him. I didn't understand Keldon Johnson because, he may not have been fully ready to go out there and play all the big minutes, but I think within the first G League game he played, we saw he's too damn good for the G League. Like that's a man among boys in there. Let's get him up and at least get him some time. So I hope we see a lot more time from him.
Yeah, Keldon's already proven me right, and I have a feeling, I have a very strong feeling that Luka's about to prove me right in these next 8 games, and we're about to see something. Thinking, man, why didn't we have that all season long? Even if it's to bring just a different wrinkle to our team, I understand it. I know San Antonio wanted them to develop. There's a lot of good things that happened to them this season for being in Austin. Don't get that twisted. I believe that and understand that. They're smarter players. They're more fundamentally sound. They know Spurs terminology, all that good jazz in Austin. We needed them more than they needed that. Let's just, if I can put it that way.
Oh, yeah.
I agree. And when it comes to Luka Samanic, like, I totally agree that when we see, because I think a lot of us could probably put money on the fact that we're going to see him at this point. When we see him, we're going to see something. I totally agree with you when it comes to that, because even when I saw him playing early on in the season and when he even got some type of opportunity like preseason, that dude just lets it fly. That type of attitude that he has where he just doesn't come across as nervous, where he has that attitude, I don't want to always make comparisons or anything like that, but one thing that was great about Manu, we always got to go back to Manu, is that he was just free flowing. He was, you give him the ball and he's like, I'm just going to do what I do. I'm just going to be Manu. He's not afraid to make mistakes. Luka will go out there and he will just do his thing. Like, I love the fact that he just lets it rip and he's very confident in his abilities. So we're going to see a lot of that raw, natural talent. And I do agree with you with that whole DeMarre Carroll thing. Like, yeah, he could have outplayed DeMarre Carroll because DeMarre Carroll didn't play at all. So, yeah, I don't.
Well, you know what I thought was weird?
And who else was in front of him? Rudy Gay.
Yeah. Well, and you were saying like he just lets it fly. I thought for sure that they'd at least get him some minutes in a couple games in like a Matt Bonner type role, like just a spot up shooter. And all that. Like I said, I completely understand why they want him down in Austin. I think it's a bigs league to develop, and I think in a lot of ways that's really going to help him. But I was hoping I felt like at least with like Derek and DeJounte, they got in a few more games, and Luka only got 1. Which maybe that would have been different if we hadn't had the shortened season. But I would have liked to see him like in some of those blowout losses, just throw him in, let him take a few threes or something like that at least.
He was about to hop in there at the end of the season before it went out because LaMarcus was out, in and out. Jakob was hurt, and so there was going to be opportunity there. He was on the bench.
And I'd like to add, it didn't really feel like they trusted Eubanks a whole lot. It got to a point where it felt like they were kind of going away from him just a little bit, especially when I think, was it Duncan who was coaching that game? It seemed like he was getting a little irritated with Eubanks. So I don't know. But yeah, he would have got some opportunities for sure.
Yeah. If we start talking about lineups with like Jakob at the 5, Luka at the 4, or even Luke, KJ at the 3. I mean, that's an all defensive. I mean, that's a really good defensive lineup for these guys to play in. Hey, Gregory Castillo, thank you for dropping the tip, but we're going to put
give me that sponsorship, boy.
That's going out for. Make sure y'all tweet Dodge. Let them know what's going on here. That we're starting a movement here behind Harrison. Harrison needs a new truck.
I'm on the Dodge. What else does Dodge even make, man? This is how much not of a car person I am.
Come on, man. You're Texas grown. There's trucks in your blood.
I never owned a truck in my life. But to the point about Eubanks, there's some stuff that actually irritated me about him too. And
Okay.
I think for some reason, there's a lot of people that are really high on him. I like Eubanks. I'll preface it with that. But
Uh-huh.
I think right now he's as good as he's going to get. And that's the thing, is that we've got a lot of young guys who are going to be even better. And just watching some, he doesn't have much of a post game. Yeah, he can spot up. He's not great at recognizing when to cut to the basket. I mean, he does the little things for us, but I just don't think he's a long-term solution like a lot of people are saying.
There's people that are saying that he's a long-term solution.
Yeah, man. For some reason, people on my page love him, man. They're like, you need to get him a real contract next year and not a two-way. And I'm just not for that.
No, he's a definition of a role play. That is so weird because I've seen people like not talk trash, but kind of talk trash about Jakob and saying, well, Jakob can go if he wants to go, but Jakob is better than Eubanks, right? And he has a little more upside than him. So why? Yeah, that's a weird thing.
Yes, look, Drew is like everyone's favorite Spur, but I want him on the team. If he's willing to take like a minimum salary for the rest of his career just to stay on the Spurs, then great, do it. Stay on a two-way forever, do it. But he doesn't want that. He wants opportunity. He wants to grow, and that's probably not going to happen with San Antonio Spurs. So when we come back, we're going to get onto Spurs Twitter. We're going to see what the San Antonio Spurs have posted, and then we'll be right back. Order on the Spurs.
Oh,
somebody order on the Spurs. Aye. Order on the court. OOCSpurs.com. Go right now. Get your membership. 6 men. Our first watch party is free if you're reading the clicker. Spurs versus Sacramento. We're gonna have a whole watch party thing where Spurs Nation gets together and enjoys the game, wins prizes. We're going to be interacting with y'all the whole time, so make sure you tune in to that. All right, so let's get into Spurs Twitter. Let me see what's going on here. Oh, here we go. Some shots of this ping pong tournament. I wanted them to live stream it, man. I'm a little disappointed. Cornhole.
Yeah, but that involves publicity, and, we don't do publicity. I'm surprised they're even letting them take pictures of the Spurs.
Who do you think won? Oh,
it was one of their coaches. No, that was for cornhole. Sorry, this is for cornhole. But one of their coaches won.
One of their coaches won the ping pong.
Yeah, won the ping pong tournament.
Because I remember, I think it was Kelly Forbes. Because everyone was like, "Wow, not the Forbes I was expecting," or "Wow, better Forbes," or something like that.
Yeah. Oh, here we go.
Oh, that's nice.
Luka with the jam. Look at this lineup real quick. Luka, Eubanks, Bryn Forbes, Quindarian. I think it's Chimezi down here. Yeah, Chimezi. That's a big lineup, bro. I'm saying there's a lot of opportunity if we see stuff like this on the court for these three especially.
I need some help. Oh, go ahead. You can go first, Harrison. I'll hold it.
Well, if you need help, let's address the emergency in the
room. But I was gonna say Look, I don't want to talk bad about him, but can you guys please convince me that Quindarian is going to be like long-term great thing for San Antonio? I just don't see it yet. I guess it's like every player I'm excited about, but that's the one player I'm not that excited about.
You're not excited about it because you're still waiting on the guys that we have here. It's like, why do I have to wait for another guard? Right? I bet you that's why.
I guess so.
If you want to like compare him to somebody that I think he could become, I think he could be like Josh Hart. They're like those big guards.
Okay.
Played a long time in college. He knows what he's doing on the court a lot. He's kind of had to transition from a shooting guard to a point guard, so he's getting used to facilitating the offense. But I think he's a really underrated player. I don't know if he'll ever come up and be a main part of the roster for sure, but I really liked it when we picked him because he's just one of those guys that, a 4-year guy who I think he broke the scoring record at Mississippi State. Like, he was a monster in college. So, he knows what he's doing.
Here's my comparison. Baron Davis, like ceiling, like that to me, that's a ceiling. He's a guard that's not super athletic, but can get up and jam it on you. He's more low to the ground and he can score because I think Quinn's best attribute is his scoring ability. He can shoot it. He can move off the ball. He's crafty. getting the ball in the hoop. And he can also play the point the way Barron did, even though, you know, Barron played the point guard just to come off a pick and roll. You know, he didn't execute no offense or whatever. And I kind of think that Quindary has a ceiling might be similar.
Okay. I guess I've just always seen him as just like a fundamentally sound guard, and I guess I just never seen. But you saying that he could be Josh Hart, that's pretty nasty.
That's a really
I've always
good
wanted
comparison
Josh Hart.
too.
Yeah, because I've always wanted a Josh Hart, or I always wanted Josh Hart himself. So
yeah, and hey, if you're looking, there's a couple of those kind of guys in this upcoming draft. I'll go ahead and do a plug. We've been recording a show called Next Up where we go through draft prospects. That'll be available as premium content, but he's like one of my low-key sleepers in the draft. His name is Mason Jones from Arkansas. That dude is insane. Yeah, he's like for all the numbers, he is the most efficient wing player in this draft in terms of 3-point percentage, defensive rating, all of that stuff. And he's like a projected second-round pick. And that's kind of how Q was. He is like at the top in terms of all the advanced metrics and everything. He's just not a flashy kind of player that you take in the first round. And I think he got drafted right about where he should, but I definitely think he could be a part of the rotation in the future.
Okay.
He should be. He's a good player. He's a good player to have on our roster. If you want to tell me that we can go and find all these other players that are just gonna be as good as him or better, I like Quindary. I'd stick with what we got. I'd invest in him. We've already invested a lot of time in him this year. Let's try to build this product. And I know if someone else is better than him, then yeah, we draft him. But I like his ceiling. I think he's like Derek White. He's one of those guys out of college that just played a lot of college ball, smart, and we can mold him into whatever we want to mold him into. I think he's a Spurs head guy too, and that's hard to find.
That is true. That is true. I mean, I like I said, I like his game. I've seen quite a bit of him. I guess he's just one of those players I never really got super excited about for some reason. Oh my God.
Yo, Patty.
Patty's like looking like Steven Adams now.
Dude, is that what playing the guitar all the time? That's all I see Patty do on social media. He's always just chilling, playing the guitar.
Oh, dude, you see all the guitars behind me. I play all the time. I'm still waiting on that.
Dang, dude, Patty's in beast mode. He's in rip mode, you know, like how bodybuilders, they have the bulking period and then they have like the shredding period. This dude looks like he's in shredding period right now.
Oh yeah. Good Lord, dude.
Hey, look, DeJounte to Lonnie Walker in transition. This is what the world's been waiting on.
Hey, real quick though, when we were back in that lineup, who's the small forward in that lineup that they were playing? Because they had three bigs out there. Do you think Metu is, or do you think Samanic is?
Samanic. This one right here. Yeah, Quinn at the 1, Bryn at the 2, and then 3 right here. Luka 4 and 5, because Drew's got to be the 5, and Chimezi's got to be the 4. Then kind of by default.
I couldn't see Chimezie being 3.
All right, so let's see.
In a little sense, I don't think he's necessarily ready for it, but I think in a pinch he could.
Huh. Look, because check this out, Harrison. Let me tell you why this lineup. The gray team is going zone. They're in a 2-3 zone. You see this? I don't know if you see it, but they're in a 2. So what we can do here, what we're able to do here is put Quindary at the point, Bryn at the 2, because you want shooters, right? You want some of your top shooters on the floor. And Luka is a hell of a catch and shoot shooter. So putting him and Bryn on the wings, even though Luka ends up finding himself in the short corner in this play, it's a smart lineup if that's what you're going for. You're going for Chimezie and Drew Ebanks to just crash the board on the on this side on the offensive glass, but Luka takes a primary offensive role, I think.
I was thinking of it as I don't know if you ever watched Syracuse play basketball in college.
Yeah, they're known for there's no defense.
One of the best
anyone else
I ever saw beat that zone was Bryce Johnson. And I was thinking maybe Luka was in that 4 role and they were rotating the post for those spot up mid-range jumpers and like dishing it in there. And I mean, Metu's, I guess capable enough that they could stick him out on the wing if they thought Luka was a better mid-range spot up shooter. So that was why I was curious.
Well,
thinking, what's the motivation here?
Well, spacing, right? Against a zone, you have to have good spacing. You got to have good ball movement. make good passes, good spacing the floor, because that's where you find your open shots. So they put Luka out here in the corner, right? So that's where he came from. So they had Quindary at the top of the key. They had Bryn right there, right? So there's Bryn Forbes, one of our best shooters. And if he kicks out to Bryn right here, and then they have to collapse, Luka would be one pass away from a wide open three here in the corner from Bryn, right? But as Quindary, got into the paint, Luka did a really good job of recognizing that and started cutting back door, and then boom. That this lineup actually tells me that Bryn and Luka are probably your 1 and 2 option offensively. And then
they should. They should. Especially. Like I said, I don't want to see a lot of Bryn, but offensively, yeah, if he's on the court and those are the two shooters, because Luka by far, I would think is the second best shooter behind Bryn. That's on that court right there.
Yeah. Let's see what else we got. DeMar getting buckets. That ain't nothing new. Derek White knows that.
Yeah, we've seen that.
Ooh.
They actually they had the audacity to put a video up of DeMar hitting a 3 in practice.
Man, don't
do this to me.
Don't do that.
Please don't do this to me. Y'all did this at the beginning of the season. I was like, here we go. It's over.
Why do you think he's afraid to shoot threes? Because that's the only conclusion I can come to, is that he's afraid to shoot them.
I don't necessarily know that he's afraid to shoot them. I think just from talking to guys that play at that level, it's just kind of, it's not his thing, and he thinks he can get a better shot that he can knock down at a higher percentage. So I don't think he's thinking, oh God, it's a 3, I'm not going to hit this. I think he's legitimately thinking, damn, why shoot this when I have a chance of missing, when I know I can get to the hoop and just jam it and have 100% chance of making it, which isn't the kind of thinking they're trying to encourage in the league right now, but he's just done it for so long. I think it's just a habit, honestly.
It's so weird because I know in the offseason, Popovich basically said, yeah, I'm going to talk to Debo about, shooting more threes because that's what we need. And then during the season, he was shooting more threes, or at least letting it rip a little bit more. Than it just seemed like randomly just stopped. It just halted. I don't know. It was a weird thing.
Yeah,
we need that.
A lot of this was so weird, man.
And like the whole thing where they've just been doing it so long. Even Aldridge, he had a few games where he was consciously trying to shoot those threes and all that. But then after a while, I think your instinct just takes over, because they've both been in the league for just about over a decade. Yeah, that's over 10 years of doing something at least 82 nights of the year. Assuming they have no injuries. That's hard to shake.
Yeah. I can see that. It's just, disheartening. I don't want to shoot threes. Hey.
That's the Kentucky coming out in Kelvin right there.
Oh, I love that. Love that. Pop saying some stuff. I like these photos, man. Hey, shout out to Spurs Twitter. We talked about it a little bit. We don't ever get this. We don't, in Spurs media, this is what we get: the post-practice media availability. That's it. They're shooting free throws and getting their shooting workout in at the end of practice. But to actually see clips and photos of these guys going 5-on-5 and all this stuff that we're seeing right here, that's stuff that, as a Spurs fan, and I can tell you for 30 years, I'm 30 years old, we ain't never got access like this. And I know it's because it's in the bubble, but I really hope it doesn't stop.
Yeah, man.
Yeah, it's nice to see. And I'm hoping just with kind of the change in attitude in our locker room, not a bad change, but just these younger guys from a different generation. I'm hoping it kind of opens things up a bit. And honestly, I think it's good for Pop. He's kind of hid out there for so long, and now he's not allowed to, with all these guys are kind of forcing him out in the open. And it's been fun to watch, man.
I have a feeling that either, I don't know if they just changed their attitude towards things. Look at that. I don't know if they just changed their attitude towards their social media, but it feels like somebody else is a part of it. It feels like somebody else took over the social media ranks or whatever, because they are totally different. It seems like each day they're getting closer and closer to the Kings. You know what I mean? The way the
Yeah.
Kings do their stuff.
Yeah.
I've noticed it.
I think every NBA team's kind of trying to rebrand and do that because I mean, look at us. We're going through
Right here,
Twitter
he's a
on our
champion.
live stream here and all that,
Yeah.
and I think they're just seeing it as a new way to engage. Bro,
Just
how
like-
did they get that Lysol? That stuff has not been in stores for ages. That's what I want to know.
I got Lysol.
It's a missed
Hey,
opportunity
Rich
if they don't take advantage of it at the end of the day now. You know, it's a missed opportunity for them to engage with their audience.
What are they doing right there?
So it was Luca and Coach Forbes in the championship round.
I knew Luca was going to make it to the championship round.
I picked Marco out. I thought Marco he did good. Marco did well, but I thought he was going to take it.
Are you guys good at ping pong?
Nah.
Hell no.
Nah. Dude, I'm not good at ping pong. I'm not good at pool. Like anything that has to deal with the table, I suck.
Are
suck
you
at that game?
Are you good at basketball?
Oh yeah. Yes.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Me and you got to do 1-on-1 one day.
Well, we have to find out. We just have to find out.
I don't like how you said
I thought we already said we were doing 2-on-2 one day.
Yeah. We'll do that. We'll do that for our 6 men only. We'll stream us playing basketball together live one day.
Yeah, for our 3 million follower special.
Well, all right, guys. Well, thank you for tuning in. Thank you for tuning in to another episode of OOC Live. We hope you enjoyed it. If you're new, please subscribe, hit the like button below, bookmark us, save us, like our page, all that good stuff. Go to OOCspurs.com and get your 6-man membership. Our first watch party against Sacramento is going to be free, as you see in the clicker below. But every watch party after that, live, will only be for 6 members only. All right, so make sure to go ahead and get that. Come to our watch party, see what it's all about on the 31st of July. So I'm Rob from Bucking Spurs. Harrison, why don't you tell everyone where they can find you, my friend?
Yeah. So you can find me at facebook.com/San Antonio Spurs Talk, Instagram at SA Spurs Talk, Twitter at SA Spurs Talk 21. We just got new merch in our store. Don't be like Future, no mask off. Go get your mask. We got OOC masks available in our store. So go get them, man. They're pretty tight.
Show them, Destin. Show them what's up.
Yeah, this right here is beautiful. Do you see it? Wait, can you see it? Can you guys see it?
Yeah.
Let me know if you can see it.
There we go.
Yeah.
There we go, right there.
Get that sexiness all over your body. Go get that.
we got it on a cloth mask. So if y'all need to go out in public, man, you can be safe with the virus and be rocking our swag. You can put our faces on your face. That was a little weird to say that, but
you're basically us. You put that on your face, you're basically us now.
Yeah.
Man,
Destin, tell everyone where they can find all your Spurs content, man.
You can find me on Instagram, Spurs Clan and Spurs Clan 2, in which I put a lot of highlights on that page. And you can find me on YouTube, Clan the Spurs Fan. Again,
if you want to get your comment or question on screen, you can do that 24/7, 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. If you have a Spurs thought, let me get the guys on OOC to answer it. You can go to our tip jar. I know it's not, I don't think it was on the description below. That's my bad. But it will be after this video. Drop your comment, drop your question. We'll answer it live if it comes in live, or we'll answer it on our next show when we do. So thank you guys for tuning in. Go Spurs, go. We're getting ready for this comeback. Make sure that you go to OOCspurs.com so you can get in tune with that watch party. Court is adjourned.
#Rob was right.
I was right all along.
You know who you are.
Y'all know who you are.